Oh my God, that is so funny. I'm sitting in my car laughing at myself. Okay, so, hi. I contacted my friend Colin, who is doing the vulnerability challenge. And so I asked if he would come for lunch and some tea, and I asked him if we could do a video just regarding his vulnerability challenge and like what vulnerability is and how you can do it, because I really, really, really think it's so good for people to be as vulnerable as possible, and to always challenge that within themselves. I started thinking about the reason why people don't want to feel vulnerable. And I think it's because you don't know what the outcome's going to be with a certain something. Like if you say something, you don't know how people will react, or you don't have security, and you don't have a predictable outcome. And so for a lot of people, I think maybe like negative emotions can arise. And so you have to be okay with feeling those and being okay and realizing that those feelings surface so that you can heal them and be okay with feeling that way. Because I mean, we're in a human experience. That's part of it, living here on earth. Like those feelings, they're not bad feelings, they're not negative feelings. You just maybe had a bad experience with those emotions, so you relate that. And so as soon as they come back, you freak out and you don't want to feel them. So a lot of people protect themselves. A lot of people will say, well, if I don't put myself out there, then I won't get hurt. But that's completely wrong. Every single time you don't put yourself out there, then you're getting hurt. You're missing out on having those authentic experiences and those authentic relationships with other people, because you're not even authentically you. So, I mean, you can't build anything with anyone. And that's a huge thing, having relationships with other people. That is completely how we thrive as humans here on Earth. So your vulnerability can be anything. It doesn't even have to be a negative thing or something you anticipate as being negative. It could be how much you love somebody. That could be a vulnerability. Maybe you feel like you get hurt because you love too much, or, it can be anything. There's no rules for this. For the last couple of years, my vulnerability really has been singing in front of people. So, I mean, it was the scariest thing I was ever doing. It was me standing there open and raw to whoever wanted to see and feel my emotions while I sang. And I was guarded. I am still guarded when it comes to singing. And so, I mean, I try and challenge that as much as possible. So, yeah, it's really, really good to just think about what you could be more vulnerable with. I just wanted to quickly use this analogy that Kahn talks about in one of his videos. I forget which one, but I'll post it down below. And he talks about, it's called respecting the shadow. So if you can think of some negative emotions or feelings within yourself that arise, and pretend that they were in a room, like a counselor room. They're sitting on the chair. These feelings that you can think of, they're sitting on this chair and they're being expected to talk about how they're feeling. What would each emotion say about its experience of you? Were you supportive and loving them and, lifting them up when they were down? Or were you saying, no, get away. You need to change before I'll accept you. I don't want you in my life. And I just think that's the coolest way of putting it, because it just makes complete sense to me. You have to love yourself. You have to love those aspects of yourself, and you have to bring yourself up when you're feeling down, instead of rejecting yourself and pushing yourself away and completely disregarding yourself, hiding those emotions that come up and surface for you. I mean, just doesn't make sense. So just love that. You're going to be okay. You're going to get through it. And whatever you're feeling is healing. So, I mean, if you know that, then it shouldn't matter. Be that strong person for yourself. And be okay with showing the real you and saying what you're going through and how you're feeling, because that's just telling yourself that you trust yourself. I have a huge vulnerability that I haven't even really opened up completely about. I mean, I've mentioned it, but I'm planning on doing a whole entire video on it, so watch out for that one. Anyways, I've only really been openly talking about it for the last 2 years, and the growth that I have done just by openly talking about it, and being okay with people's reactions about it, and just really just being there for myself and loving myself. It's amazing how much vulnerability can just create growth within your life, like instantly. Brene Brown talks about the courage to be imperfect. A lot of people think that it's easier to be disappointed in life than it is to feel disappointed in life. I mean, what is the point living in this beautiful world if we're going to deny ourselves that excitement just because we're fearful of what could happen and the negative feelings that may come of it? None of them need to be negative. We make those feelings what they are. I've been practicing challenging my vulnerability for a few years now, and I don't know, the work paid off, because I personally feel, oh, that's a cute little bird. It's bathing in the rain. I personally feel like the insecurity and the lack of knowing what's going to happen next really excites me. And I mean, it's taken me so many places in life. It's beautiful. It's crazy. It's not all, sorry, I'm getting a cold. It's not all like rainbows and sunshine. But it's good to create that contrast too, because then you can really, really appreciate what you have. Like, for instance, my car that I just got, my SUV type car. I had a van with no heat, no headlights. I couldn't even drive up hills. I couldn't go to Victoria in my car. There's no way. It would just bog down. It would be like 20K the whole way. It was awful. And that van was newer. It was like an 03. It was a nice car. I mean, it served us for years, and this one, it's a 96. It's very old, and it's probably the most favorite car I've ever owned. So you appreciate those things. Anyways, now I'm rambling again, so I'm going to edit in Colin and I's conversation. So enjoy. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
This is my friend Colin, and he is doing the vulnerability challenge, which I kind of briefly discussed on camera before I got here.
Oh, you did?
Well, not really. I didn't say anything. I just said, you're doing a vulnerability challenge.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm like such an advocate for vulnerability.
Well, thank you.
So I thought that it would be cool to ask you if we could do a video about it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So let's explain while we're eating.
Yeah. Do you want to know what the vulnerability challenge is?
Yes. Explain to these beautiful people.
It's basically just a way to be, I'm trying to think. The best way for me to explain it is kind of how it started. And basically, I've kind of struggled with who I am for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. And so I've always been seeking answers to why I've been struggling so much with so much anxiety and what's going on with that. So I went to counseling, I went to support groups, I did yoga and meditation, different things, and I found that the most helpful thing was probably support groups. And in support groups, I really learned to be vulnerable and open up.
Yeah.
So then, And I was quite inspired when I went to, by this guy, this mentor of mine I follow on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I went to one of his events on self-development.
Mark Groves?
Mark Groves,
yeah.
Yeah, Create the Love.
Yes.
And on my way back from that trip, I decided to make a post about my ex-girlfriend's daughter, Hannah. And it was quite the vulnerable post. And basically, the reason I made that post is because people were wondering why I still had... I heard through the grapevine that people were wondering why I still had a relationship with her when I was no longer with her mom.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a post about her, telling everybody why. Because I love her and I'm connected with her. And, you know, I've been a father figure for 3 years and I had so much fun with her. And that post kind of blew up and got a ton of likes and loves.
Went viral, kind of, hey?
I don't know about viral. But
viral in town, locally.
Yeah, viral locally, yeah. And so from there I made another post about my identity and how it's changed over the years. Like, shifted, and I was like, I guess I was kind of preppy, and then I was a punk rocker, and then I was into grunge music, and then I became like a metrosexual, and that all changed. And that same post, same thing, got a huge response. So from there I decided that I was going to open up and be vulnerable online for 30 days, and I called it the Vulnerability Challenge.
Yeah.
And from there I created a following of people on Instagram and Facebook, and people I knew, people I didn't know, started reaching out to me, like yourself. You reached out to me.
Yeah.
We went for coffee and to talk about it.
Yeah. It's just become this thing, hey? It's like,
the thing,
yeah.
So then I decided to build a platform for other people to be able to do the Vulnerability Challenge, and I've been... So now it's kind of growing, and people from all over the world are starting to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody from Auckland, New Zealand started doing it yesterday.
That's
so now we got
amazing.
New Zealand, we got different places in Europe doing it, Malaysia, lots of people go to the US are doing it, lots of people locally here on the Vancouver Island.
Yeah.
And I just want to grow it more and more, and it's building building connection. It's about building connection, vulnerability.
Totally.
With yourself.
Yeah.
And with other people.
Yeah.
When you open up. Hey. We're just doing an interview on camera right now.
And even doing this interview in the middle of a coffee shop is a bit about vulnerability, right? Because we're sitting here and we were wondering, okay, well, like, how are we going to do this? And we're just going to do it because we're being vulnerable, right? Yeah. It can be anything.
I wouldn't have done this 3 years ago, 2 years, 6 months ago, probably.
No.
I wouldn't have done this.
I know, totally. So,
kind of,
why? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, like, one of the ways I live is always kind of pushing my boundaries, pushing my edge.
Yes, that is so
huge. Living on the edge, like not pushing too far because you could retreat, but like living on the edge.
Yes.
So always kind of going outside your comfort zone a little bit.
Out of your comfort zone, just even a tiny bit each time, right?
Yeah. And then you grow and your world expands.
Yes. Because if you stay and you're doing the same thing every day and you're not pushing yourself, there's no growth there. So, I guess the video cut out on us during our conversation, and we didn't realize it. We were probably talking for a minute or two longer. My phone probably just didn't have enough storage. So I just wanted to quickly make another clip for this video, just reiterating how you could start this vulnerability challenge. You just go to thevulnerabilitychallenge.com. I'll put the link down below. Or you can hashtag the vulnerability challenge. Get a hold of Colin. He's amazing. He's doing this straight from the heart, which is really cool. So yeah, do the vulnerability challenge. Do 30 days. Do it even one time and just see how you like it. So have a good day, guys. If you like what you saw, you can subscribe to my channel. You can give it a thumbs up. I plan on doing a lot more videos like this. I'm probably going to get together with Colin again. We can do some more interesting topics.